Hey, what's up everybody? Commander Radix here bringing you another video. I like Transformers. But also, one fact about me is that I love dinosaurs. It's probably one of my first interests ever since I was a really little kid, probably before I even started to like Transformers. Right? I really loved dinosaurs. As a kid, I had all these like visual references that are kind of a little bit too difficult for a child to understand, but I love looking at the pictures and going, wow, that's a dinosaur. These big monster lizard things used to roam the earth. Surprise, surprise, I was obsessed with obscure, deep lore of our past, even as a child. I love dinosaurs. My favorite dinosaur, by the way, is the Triceratops. I need to make a dinosaur video. Anyway, so I like Transformers, and I like dinosaurs. What if we combined the two and created Transaurs? Nope, that's not going to work. Let's call them Dinobots. Dinosaur Transformers. So by the logic of me liking Transformers and me liking dinosaurs, Dinobots should be blowing my mind. You know, I should be, turning into a rabid beast at just the mere mentioning of the Dinobots, and yet I don't. Why is that? Well, ladies and gentlemen, today on today's episode of Transformers Talk, I just want to say, the Dinobots are kind of boring. Now, what is a Dinobot? The definition of a Dinobot changes quite dramatically across the Transformers franchise. Most famously, you have the Generation 1 Dinobots, who have different origin stories depending on what medium they're from. They're just a group of 5, sometimes 6, really dumb Dinobots who speak very crudely and can't really do anything but fight, led by Grimlock. Then you go into the Beast era, and there is a guy named Dinobot. And honestly, when I say Dinobots are boring, I'm not talking about Beast Wars Dinobot. He is a completely different character, and I like him. He's one of my favorite characters. He's not boring, so before Beast Wars fans try to kill me for saying I don't like Dinobot, that's not what I'm saying. Come to the Unicron trilogy, the Dinobots are sort of a species of creature of which the Krulok Terracons somewhat resemble, or might actually be. Their lore is kind of mysterious. But they're just kind of, animalistic. They just, make roaring sounds every now and then and attack anything, but they can be commanded, so there is that. The animated universe, they again fill the role of G1 of a bunch of dumb, this time I think 3 guys, led by Grimlock, who are still dumb. Then there's the movie universe, where they're these guys, they're knights, but they're also dinosaurs. So, me who loves Transformers, dinosaurs, and history, I should be freaking out over the Bayverse Dinobots, but I don't. And then, the Aligned Universe has War for Cybertron stuff. The Dinobots is like a body type group in the Aligned Universe, of which there is a group of I don't care. Then you have IDW, where they try to shake up some things. The Dinobots with a Y instead of an I are a sort of crack team that are meant to get their hands dirty when Optimus Prime isn't willing to do some things, which isn't that exactly what the Wreckers are? Anyway, they later changed the Y to an I, and then they pretty much just become the same old Dinobots. There was a time a few years ago where I suddenly had the urge to make Transformers lore videos on the first phase of the IDW universe. I created videos on Transformers Infiltration, Escalation, Devastation, and Revelation in very quick sequence. They came out back to back to back in a very rare spurt of productivity for me. But the videos kind of slowed down on that front. Why? Well, that's because the next big story I have to tell in that phase is Maximum Dinobots, a 5-issue miniseries focusing on the Dinobots. Boy, doesn't that sound fun. Why do you hate the Dinobots, Commander Radix, head of the Commander Radix YouTube channel? Why do you think they're boring? Well, it has to do with their personality and also has to do with how they're used. Let's get the personality thing off the table first. They're dumb. Okay, is there anything else? Anything more complex to their character? Nah, they're just dumb. They're just a big old group of dumb guys. They're strong, though. Wow. I've never heard of a dumb, strong character in Transformers before. That's completely new. That's never even shown up in any other 80s cartoons. That's such a rare character trope. So let's ignore the fact that they're cliche and have no character depth. I do like that one episode where Grimlock gets a brain, though. You know, when he builds Computron. That's a good episode. Anyway, how are the Dinobots used? They're either used as a sometimes treacherous group of, big guns that sometimes help the Decepticons, other times argue with Optimus Prime about being a good person, if you should be a good person or not. But then that role they have is eventually removed, and by the time of Transformers the movie, they're basically just comic relief, which is good. I do think that there needs to be, especially in Transformers the movie, they needed the comic relief. Now let's take a break from seeing your favorite characters get brutally murdered to watch Grimlock say he's going to kick Unicron's butt and proceed to attack the rear end of Unicron. Simon Furman is kind of he's not the creator of Transformers, but he's the one who made it good. Because the first stage was Bob Budiansky, and Bob Budiansky didn't really care. But after Bob Budiansky, Simon Furman comes in, and Simon Furman, for some ungodly reason, really loves the Dinobots. And he just keeps reusing the Dinobots over and over and over again. Sometimes fighting Shockwave, sometimes fighting Scorponok. And then he does that in the Marvel comics, and then as he expands to later works, he just brings in those characters again to fight each other again. Take the IDW universe, where Spotlight Shockwave is Shockwave fighting the Dinobots. Okay. Take Spotlight Grimlock, which is Scorponok fighting Grimlock. Simon Furman really likes to have these characters fight each other, and it happens over and over again. It happens in Regeneration 1. Now, why did I pause at Maximum Dinobots? Well, because the whole point of Maximum Dinobots, it's a three-way sort of struggle between the Dinobots, Shockwave, and Scorponok. Oh boy, I've never seen the Dinobots fight them before. The Simon Furmian Dinobots fight Shockwave and or Scorponok formula repeats way too much. It's become a cliche in and of itself, and I am tired of it, and usually I can be really into a Transformers story, and then suddenly it's the Dinobots versus Shockwave and or Scorponok, and I'm like, I've seen this before. I know how this is going to end. There's going to be some platitudes about wisdom or something. You have the dumb good guys and the really smart bad guy. Blah, 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 blah. They don't even really have cool, Transformers as a sort of modern or futuristic war story, you need guns. And the Dinobots, especially on IDW and Marvel, really lean into their melee weapons, their swords. So you have these weird fights between Grimlock wielding a sword and Shockwave, who has no weapons besides a cannon for an arm. So that's not supposed to be an equal match. And yet Grimlock just keeps winning. I don't like when Grimlock thinks that he should overthrow Optimus Prime. I don't like it when Grimlock actually overthrows Optimus Prime. Optimus Prime to me is an infinitely more interesting character than Grimlock. The way they speak, which is inconsistent between universes, right? But in many of the universes they have a very particular way of speaking, and it just gets on my nerves. I can't watch a whole episode of Dinobots walking around saying, "Me, Grimlock," blah blah blah. I don't have the patience for that. But for some reason, these are fan-favorite characters that go, "Oh, the Dinobots! Please, Michael Bay, put the Dinobots in your next Transformers movie." And then you get Age of Extinction. Hey, Dinobot fans, are you satisfied with Age of Extinction? Are the Bayverse Dinobots what you expected? They should have been. Anyway, that's my unhinged rant on the Dinobots, and why Transformers Lore Maximum Dinobots has taken so long, and why it will probably continue to take some time before I feel motivated enough to tackle that story, because I don't want to... It's an intricate story with all these different plot threads of betrayal and all that, and like there's a scene where like the Dinobots are controlled by humans, and the Dinobots tell Grimlock that you were a bad leader, you led us to this fight against Shockwave that got us put in stasis lock on Earth. And then Grimlock yells at them, and then the Dinobots leave, and then the Dinobots break out of the human control. Then they go back to Grimlock, and then they say, you were a bad leader who made us fight Shockwave and put us in stasis lock on Earth. And then they leave again. And then Grimlock gets attacked by headmasters, and then the Dinobots come back. You didn't think we'd leave you behind, did ya? Like, thank you for giving me two identical scenes back to back. Already in a story arc that has been played out over and over. I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this video, aren't I? Dinobot fans around the world are going to unite and hire a hitman to assassinate me. Obviously, I'm exaggerating a bit for the camera. I don't hate the Dinobots that much. Hate is a strong word, but I do think in most of their appearances, they are boring. This is why, you know, even though people give a lot of hate to the Beast Within, at least the Beast Within did something with the Dinobots. That's my mic drop, okay? Thank you guys so much for watching. Subscribe to this channel if you have not yet, and I will see you next time with another video. Let me know your thoughts about the Dinobots in the comments. Do you feel the same way as me? I hope you do. I hope I don't look like a clown just standing up in front of you all like a jester, joking about how boring the Dinobots are. Follow me on social media. Have a great day, ladies and gentlemen. Woo!
So stop the hurting, 'cause I can't take no more. We left the atmosphere while you're left on the floor. We broke barriers and areas, carriers to the world, not letting nothing advantages. I come here, let me take all the bandages. Didn't you know that I've been all teen savages? The impossible, see the invisible. Raw, fight the power. Touch the untouchable.